WCBI News at 10 starts now.
We begin with breaking news out in Neshoba County tonight. The Sheriff's Department there makes an arrest in the case of a Louisville woman who went missing nearly a year and a half ago. On your screen is William Craig Snow of Philadelphia. He's charged with murder in connection with the disappearance of Desiree Eves. Eves was last seen in the Stalo community in Neshoba County on November 6th of 2018. Craig Snow is also facing charges of possession of a firearm by a convicted felon and possession of a controlled substance. Sheriff Eric Clark says this case is still under investigation, and he asks for anyone with information to contact East Mississippi Crime Stoppers. A two-car crash sends 2 people to the hospital. The 2 vehicles collided in a curve on Old West Point Road in Oktibbeha County. The driver of the pickup truck was able to crawl out of the truck. Both drivers were taken to OCH, and at this time, no word on their conditions.
Well, if you were like me, you were woken up by some pretty hefty thunderstorms this morning around 4 or 5 a.m. here in the Golden Triangle. We're talking about some gusty winds and hail, and that caused some tree damage over in Sturgis. Lots of trees toppled and even some heavy rain in spots. Fortunately, none of that around here right now. We are getting a clean sweep on the Columbus radar. Just a few showers down to our south along I-55, and that's where they're going to stay overnight tonight. We're going to be dry with just a few clouds hanging around here, and that's going to help to keep us cool. 45 for the low tomorrow morning in Columbus and 43 in Tupelo. Now, we're actually going to stay really nice for the next few days, but we do have some severe weather to talk about. That's coming up on Sunday. I'll have the latest on that in just a little bit. Quentin.
Thanks so much, Trevor. With the threat of the severe weather this weekend, area emergency managers are working to balance shelter from the storms and social distancing. Shelters are adopting guidelines to protect people from the weather and COVID-19. Winston County encourages people to bring their own gloves and masks. Now, city or county personnel will be on site to aid in efforts. EMA Director Buddy King wants residents to feel comfortable when taking shelter.
If that shelter provides you safety, utilize the shelter as you normally would. The shelters are going to be safe. We can practice that distancing within the shelter. They're well ventilated. They're newer buildings, so the exposure is much reduced as it would be in any other public venue.
Winston County has large community shelters in downtown Louisville and in Ninewoya. Governor Tate Reeves is making it clear that Mississippi is trying to handle the COVID-19 crisis on multiple fronts, from both a public health and economic perspective. Courtney Ann Jackson has more from today's briefing.
257 new cases is the highest one-day total we've seen added to the count in Mississippi. Here's what Governor Reeves said about those numbers.
Is more driven by a fairly large dump of positive tests from a private lab, much more so than it is we saw a significant increase in the number of positive cases that occurred.
The state is now making racial breakdown data available. 52% of all cases and 71% of all deaths have been African Americans. Senate Minority Leader Derek Simmons says it's highlighting an issue that some in the state have been pushing for years now.
It's COVID-19 today. I mean, it may be something else in the future. And so now is a time to create an environment in Mississippi that will improve healthcare access, that it will improve healthcare quality, and will improve public health.
Beyond the public health crisis is the economic crisis tied to it.
Since the coronavirus hit Mississippi, we have seen more than 8,000% increase in new claims of unemployment.
The Department of Employment Security is doing what it can to keep up.
We've engaged with a company, and we will be setting up an additional call center in the next coming days to handle that workload. We're hiring approximately 100 additional staff and over 100 additional temporary workers.
And Governor Reeves wants those at home waiting to get through to know this.
We see you. We hear you. We will help you. It won't always be as quickly as we want to, but we will not let you down.
Courtney Ann Jackson, WCBI News.
And just as a reminder, benefits are not based on when you finally get through, but rather when you lost your job. Well, add outdoor burning to the list of things you can no longer do here in Mississippi during the COVID-19 pandemic. This afternoon, Governor Tate Reeves signed a proclamation calling for a statewide burn ban with no exceptions. The order goes into effect immediately and remains in effect until further notice. The State Forestry Commission requested the ban, citing the need to keep firefighters and emergency medical personnel freed up to handle other emergencies. Outdoor burning of any kind is prohibited. If caught violating the ban, you can be fined. Burn bans are enforced locally by the county's sheriff's department. Well, Trevor, this is our favorite part of the show. Who was nominated for tonight's forecast?
Yeah, certainly my favorite part of the job, getting to look through lots of pictures of pets and pick one for the night. Remember, you can send those into our website at WCBI.com/weather. We'd love to show your pet here. Tonight, it's Zoe. She's chilling by the fireplace, and you might need it tomorrow morning. Temperature's going to be a little cool, down into the 40s, only getting up to the 60s tomorrow with a mix of sun and clouds. But as I mentioned, there's a threat for some severe weather this weekend. I'll have that breakdown for you coming up right after this.
Your WCBI First Alert AccuWeather forecast with meteorologist Trevor Burchett.
Well, some showers and storms certainly rumbled through early this morning. Woke me up. Sure, it may have woken you up as well with all of that thunder and lightning. Even some small hail out there this morning. Fortunately, the cold front that caused all those problems has now moved to our south. Just some light showers down in central Mississippi tonight. That's where they're going to stay. Not really expecting much in the way of rain over there in our area overnight tonight. And certainly right now, we are all dry with those clouds starting to filter in. Here's a live view over in Starkville. Pretty calm and quiet night there from the MDOT camera. Temperatures already down into the low and mid 60s in many spots. 61 already here in Columbus, 61 in West Point, 63 right now in Starkville. Oxford already down into those mid and upper 50s. Overnight tonight, it's going to be one of those cooler nights. Certainly the coolest night we've seen here in a while. 45 for the low as you wake up early tomorrow morning. Clouds filtering in and a little bit breezy at times. Winds gusting up to 15 miles an hour out of the north. And really over the next couple of days, we're not expecting much interesting weather-wise. That's the good news. Just a few clouds for for Friday and Saturday, I should say. We do see a little bit of a cool down tomorrow. Highs only in the low to mid 60s. Just a little bit warmer by Saturday, highs in the lower 70s. And then Sunday is really our problem, where we're going to have to deal with those chances for some severe weather with highs in the mid and upper 70s. So here's what we're looking at on Futurecast. Starting this off early Sunday morning, just as you're waking up, there's that low pressure system off to the west in Oklahoma. It's going to come in here through the day on Sunday. Notice all of this moisture coming in from the Gulf of Mexico, and that combined with a lot of wind energy up in the atmosphere is going to kind of mix the ingredients together to produce some severe weather. So you see by 3 o'clock in the afternoon, lots of showers and storms across the area on Sunday. And generally what we're expecting is damaging winds, certainly possible, some hail. And unfortunately, we cannot rule out some tornadoes with this system. Really, all the ingredients are there. It's just going to take that one spark to set them off. And if that can happen, we can expect a few tornadoes across the area. So just keep that in mind. We're not here to scare you. We just want to give you the earliest heads up that we can. The best way to prepare for this is just be sure you know where your safe place is, be sure you know where to go, and have a way to get those weather alerts just in case. Of course, the WCBI News app, a great way to stay informed and get those weather alerts. And fortunately, the good news is after Easter Sunday, after those showers and storms come through, we are going to be mostly dry next week. Just a few showers on Tuesday. A lot cooler, though. Highs only in the low to mid 60s.
This week in Health Talk with the Baptists, we've been discussing the importance of becoming an organ donor. Well, tonight we look at the organ donation process.
Hi, I'm Shelley Kidder, a nurse in the Education Department at Baptist Memorial Hospital Golden Triangle, and a first responder for Mid-South Transplant Foundation. Tonight, we will discuss how the transplant process works. Even though millions of people have registered to be an organ donor, very few die in a way that lets them share the gift of life. Let's look at how the process works. The process of donation most often begins with your consent by registering in your state. In order to be a deceased donor, a person has to die in a very specific way or is put on artificial support to keep blood with oxygen flowing to the organs. After a series of tests to determine brain death, the hospital notifies the local Organ Procurement Organization, or OPO. The OPO searches to see if the deceased is a registered donor. If so, that will serve as legal consent. If the deceased is not registered and there is no other legal consent, such as a notation on the driver's license, the next of kin will be asked. After authorization, a medical evaluation takes place and the matching process begins. With a search of the national database of all patients in the U.S. waiting for a transplant. While the search for a matching recipient is underway, the deceased donor's organs are maintained on artificial support. A transplant surgical team replaces the medical team. The surgical team removes the organs and tissues from the donor's body in an operating room, and they are transported to the hospitals of the intended recipients. The transplant operation takes place after the transport team arrives at the hospital with the new organ. The recipient may already be in the operating room awaiting the arrival of the life-saving organ. If all goes as planned, the organ donor has possibly impacted the lives of up to 8 people with his or her gift of life. Join us next time for Health Talk with Baptist.
Mail your topic suggestions to healthtalk@wcbi.com. Health Talk has been brought to you by Baptist Memorial Hospital Golden Triangle.
Well, Scott isn't here tonight, but he did leave us an Uncorked. We open that up when we come back. Stay with us.
You're watching WCBI News at 10 with Quentin Smith.
Welcome back, everyone. A special guest makes an appearance with Scott and Bobby in Uncorked tonight. Now, we do want to point out this episode was shot before our social distancing rules. So, without further ado, let's see what's happening at Restaurant Tyler.
Welcome to Uncorked, everyone, and look who we've got here. It's a very special guest. We've got Restaurant Tyler owner Ty Timms. Ty, thank you so much for being here.
Oh, my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, we're so excited. Bobby, she's going to take over the ropes here. She's got a kind of a secret surprise for Ty and I here today.
Yes. So I also don't know what these are. These come from the Som Select Blind 6. So they give you 6 wines each month to blind taste, already covered. Which at the end, I'm going to let you open it up. But yeah, let's get started.
So we have no idea what she's about to pour in there. Do you know what it is, Ty?
I do not.
Secret, or the rumor is, Ty, that you're actually pretty good at these tastings.
Well, every time as it's a challenge. So it's a lot of different steps to go through to kind of narrow it down. It's more of a process of elimination.
Oh, okay. We didn't know that. So now people at home, if they want to taste something or give that a try. Okay, so Som Select. Kind of explain to us what that is real quick, Bob.
So this is a subscription to help sommeliers across the country blind taste, which is especially useful in my market since we are so...
Which, by the way, big congrats. You just had to take a big exam in South Carolina and passed.
Yes,
to Bobby. I know we're really excited for that. So in this packet, this will tell us
what it is.
It is. Okay, and we've got 2 we're going to try out.
Yes.
Okay, we're really excited.
This one's going to be there's a lot more to grapes to go through since it's for all levels of the exam, so I'm not really sure what's in here.
Now, when Bobby said blind tasting, I had in my head that we were going to be blindfolded and just take a sip and just try to guess the name of the wine. So we're actually just going to guess what we might taste.
Yes, and try to figure out what the grape is.
Okay. Ooh.
Yes.
Look at him. He's a professional swirler, too.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Right.
So,
well, I can't tell what kind of grape it might be by smelling. That's for sure.
You can kind of tell with the color, it's kind of straw, yellow. So that's kind of starts getting you to narrow down, the type of varietal it may be.
So like a green grape? Or?
Well,
this is definitely white.
I'll let Barbara get into all the details.
This is definitely a white wine.
I just kind of go by the smell and then the kind of the texture and.
So this one is pretty yellow in color and straw yellow. So I'm already going to go ahead and throw this in the camp of there are very specific varietals that have this color, like Chardonnay, could be Chenin Blanc, could be Pinot Gris.
I could taste a little bit of a Pinot Gris in there. What do you taste?
I think it's a Riesling, but that's just my personal guess. I'm going to jump to the conclusion on it.
Okay, he says it's a Riesling.
I'm going to go, honestly, it smells like Chardonnay, but it's got this very waxiness to it that you would get on a Pinot Gris. But it's also very mineral driven with off dry, because it's kind of got a hint of sweetness. I'm going to go Vouvray.
Okay.
So Chenin Blanc.
All right, now we have a red one that we are going to try.
Yes.
And again, we don't know what this is, y'all. We have no idea.
No.
Ty, you said that was a Riesling. I'm gonna go ahead and just go with a Pinot Grigio because I don't know. I'm nowhere near an expert like these two are. And you said Chardonnay. Was that what you said, Bob?
Chenin Blanc from
Chenin Blanc.
Vouvray.
Okay. Now I'm ready to see who is right. My vote's on Ty since you
Yes,
said that
he's
he was
really
so
good.
good at it. How did you train him so well, Bobby?
I don't know. I think chefs are just naturally good at smelling things, and because they're always cooking.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that makes sense because you
Tastes
do a
a lot
lot
of things.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
This is a thin skin varietal for sure. So you're going to be in your Pinot Noir,
Okay.
Gamay, Grenache, those types of wine. Now we're just going to figure out which one it is.
Let's see who will be right. Again, it's going to be Ty. Watch, everybody.
So a thin skin is something you can see through.
Yeah, it's kind of light in color.
I don't even know.
It's very juicy.
I've had this wine before.
I feel like I've had it, but
No,
I could
I
not
like-
even tell you. I don't even know where to begin to attempt to
I've
guess.
had this exact wine.
What do
All
you
right,
think
what's
it
your
is?
guess? I'm going to let you go first.
Gamay.
I would agree with that.
I think this is Pinot Noir. It's very black fruit driven.
It does have kind of that like
but it has
olive
minerality.
briny-ish
Yes.
to it.
So my guesses would be Oregon.
It'll be one of our executive producers' favorites. I can tell you that right now.
I really think this is from Santa Barbara,
Okay.
but I'm not really sure if that's testable for me. So I probably should say Oregon, but like every piece of me is saying that this is from Santa Barbara. I just went to Mission Santa Barbara, so I drank a lot of this, and I'm pretty sure that I've had this bottle.
All right, so
I
let's
would go with
put.
Barbara on this one.
Okay, so we're gonna go with Ty on that first one. We'll go with Bobby's choice on the second one. So let's open up the Somm Select and see who is right. Ooh.
It could be Oregon, but I know that's a Pinot. That is Pinot for sure.
So what do I need to look
Hands
for
down.
on this paper?
You are just gonna go through, which I haven't seen the other ones.
Okay.
So you might have to get Ty to help you because I still have the other ones to blind taste at a later point.
I'm not good at opening
That's
these
fine.
things.
Just rip it open. And in there, this one right here, it's gonna
Okay.
show you the answers. So you're looking for number 3 and number 4.
Number 3,
Chiffon Blanc.
you were right.
She's good.
See, I was
I got
looking.
that one wrong one time, and I'm telling you, I was like, this one, if it smells to me like Chardonnay, I always, and it's not, I'm like Chenin Blanc.
And guys, you won't believe this. Bobby was right on the second one too.
Yeah.
What is that?
She's been
It is
practicing
a
a lot lately. So
Pinot
that's great.
Noir from Santa Barbara.
Which Pinot is this? I swear, like I had this in Santa Barbara.
Which we have a whole episode on as well. Wines from Santa Barbara.
Yep, there it is.
I sent
And
this
it's-
to
and
you.
it's Tyler.
It's Tyler. This is that's actually really ironic. You can't get this here.
Ty, you were just meant to be here today,
I
for
know,
sure,
that's
for
right.
that.
That's funny.
So
Names on the
awesome,
bottle.
awesome. Thank you so much for
Holy
being with us,
guacamole.
Ty.
Absolutely,
We
my
loved
pleasure.
this, Bobby. This was fun. Until next time, everyone. Have a good one. Cheers.
So long, Vic Schaefer. There's a new woman in charge. More information on who's stepping into the big job in Starkville when we come back.
Your WCBI Sports with Courtney Robb.
Mississippi State is set to hire Old Dominion head coach Nikki McCray to take over the Bulldogs women's basketball program, which means there's a new rivalry brewing in the SEC. Historically, it's been a heated one between State and South Carolina. However, now it becomes a battle between the student and the master because McCray served as an assistant coach under head coach Don Staley for nearly a decade. However, her SEC experience goes well beyond that. McCray's start was in college basketball at Tennessee under legend Pat Summitt for 4 seasons. From there, McCray went on to become a 2-time Olympic gold medalist, spent 8 years in the WNBA, becoming a 3-time All-Star, retired to become an assistant coach at Western Kentucky before moving on to South Carolina and then on to her first head coaching job at Old Dominion. Finally coming full circle to this moment where McCray gets her SEC coaching start as the newest leader of Mississippi State women's basketball. Mississippi State has not made an official announcement yet. We'll keep you updated as information becomes available. A huge decision coming out of Oxford this afternoon. Ole Miss has made the decision to cancel in-person athletic activities through August 1st. The direct impact on the Rebels? No summer workouts, and the football team can only hope to return to the field in time for fall camp That normally begins around early August. The Southeastern Conference has not released any official direction on what football programs should expect for the fall. The SEC officially canceled the remainder of the 2019-2020 athletic season on Tuesday. Mississippi State men's basketball being hit with a huge loss. Sophomore guard Robert Woodard officially declaring to enter into the 2020 NBA draft. However, something of note, the Columbus native has not signed with an agent, which means should he choose, he can come back and play for the Bulldogs for another season. MSU head coach Ben Howland saying Mississippi State is in full support of Woodard's decision to go through the NBA process. Woodard started in all 31 games this past season, averaging 11 points and 6.5 rebounds per game. Alabama head coach Nick Saban may already have 6 national titles under his belt. However, now he's mastering a new frontier, his own email. According to an interview conducted by ESPN, Saban's newest venture is a result of social distancing. Saban says emails for him were being sent to his wife until she said, "Hey, enough is enough, I'm over this." And Saban's own email was born after that. Now Saban is using that email to stay in touch with his players and staff. Like many universities, Alabama canceled its spring game due to the coronavirus outbreak. That's it for sports. We'll have more for you when we come back.
Pretty nice weather coming up for the next few days. A little cooler tomorrow, starting off in the 40s, 60s for highs tomorrow. But of course, all eyes are on Sunday. That's our chance for severe weather. Some damaging winds, hail, and tornadoes not out of the question for your Easter. Of course, we'll be here keeping a close eye on things, and we'll keep you updated with the latest forecast and information. After that, we dry out. Most of next week looking dry. A little cooler, though. Highs only in the 60s, Quentin. So once we get past Sunday, we're looking pretty nice.
There's going to be a brighter day after we get through.
Absolutely.
All right. Thank you so much, Trevor. And thank you for tuning in with us. Have a good night.